If a knockout match is tied after 90 minutes, the game goes to extra time. That's an additional 30 minutes of football. Still tied after that? Then it goes to the most nerve-wracking thing in all of sports. Penalty shootouts. Here's how it works. Each team picks 5 players, one at a time. Those players walk up to a spot 12 yards from the goal. That's about the length of a large room, and take a single shot. Just them and the goalkeeper. No defenders, no teammates. Just pressure, silence, and millions of people watching. The team that scores more penalties wins. If it's still tied after 5 each, it goes to sudden death. One team scores and the other misses, and it's over. Penalty shootouts have ended the World Cup dreams of some of the greatest players in history. England has lost so many penalty shootouts it became a national trauma. Italy, France, Argentina, before they finally won in 20. Okay, so 16 teams have survived the group stage. Now things get serious. What comes next is called the knockout stage, and the name says everything. One match, one result. Lose and you go home. There are no second chances. The 16 surviving teams get paired up and they play a single match. The winner advances. The loser books their flight home. It goes from 16 to 8. That's the quarterfinals. Then 8 to 4, the semi-finals. Then 4 to 2. And those final 2 teams play the most watched sporting event on the planet, the World Cup final. But wait, what happens when a knockout match ends in a draw? This is where football gets genuinely dramatic. Simple enough, right? But here's where it gets brutal. Imagine you're a small country. You've spent 4 years dreaming about this moment. You've qualified against the odds. And in the group stage, you get drawn against Brazil, France, and Germany. That actually happened. In 2014, a group nicknamed the Group of Death contained Portugal, Germany, Ghana, and the USA. And 3 of those teams were good enough to win the whole tournament. Only 2 could go through. The group stage has ended the dreams of some genuinely great teams. And sometimes, a mediocre team squeaks through just because they landed in an easier group. Football has always been a little bit unfair. That's part of why people love it. So now you've got 32 teams. They've all qualified. They've all earned their place. And now they arrive at the World Cup. And the first thing that happens is something called the group stage. Here's how it works. The 32 teams are split into 8 groups of 4 teams each. Every team in a group plays every other team in that group. That's 3 matches per team. Win, lose, or draw. You play all 3 regardless. Now, why does this matter? Because in football, a result called a draw exists. That means both teams score the same number of goals and nobody wins. In the group stage, a draw is totally fine. You still get a point. Points are the currency of the group stage. Win a game, you get 3 points. Draw a game, you get 1 point. Lose a game, you get 0. After all 3 games, the 2 teams with the most points from each group advance. The other 2 go home. Think of qualifying like the world's biggest tryout. For about 2 years before the World Cup even starts, countries in every region of the world play against each other just to earn a ticket. Europe plays Europe. South America plays South America. Africa plays Africa. Each region gets a certain number of spots, and only the best teams from each region make it through. Europe, for example, gets 13 spots. South America gets 4.5. Yes, half a spot is a real thing. We'll come back to that. Africa gets 5. Asia gets 4.5, and so on. Now here's where it gets interesting. Some of those regions have their spots given to teams automatically. The host country, the nation actually running the World Cup, gets in without playing a single qualifying match. 0 games, free ticket, and until 2026, the defending champion also got automatic entry. That might sound unfair. And honestly, a lot of people think it is. There are 211 countries in the world that have a national football team. 211. That's more countries than are in the United Nations. Football is genuinely the most played sport on the planet, and almost every single country on earth has a team that wants to go to the World Cup. But the World Cup only has 32 spots. So what happens to the other 179 countries? They fight for their place, and that fight is called qualifying. 32 countries, 64 matches, 1 trophy, and 4 weeks that make over a billion people stop everything they're doing to watch a game of football. But here's the thing. Most people watching have no idea how any of it actually works. Like, how does a country even qualify? Why do some teams seem to skip the hard part? What actually happens if a game ends in a tie? And why does everyone lose their mind over something called penalty shootouts? By the end of this video, you're going to understand the entire World Cup. From the very first qualifying match all the way to the final. No football experience required. Let's start at the very beginning.